Hi, I'm Avery Davidson. Thank you for joining us for This Week in Louisiana Agriculture, the only TV show bringing Louisiana farmers and consumers together every week. We begin this week by remembering a man who worked closely with Louisiana Farm Bureau throughout his political career, Edwin Washington Edwards. Edwards died this week at the age of 93. Edwards remains the only man to serve 4 terms as Louisiana's governor. We're not going to go into all of Edwards' legal issues. You can get that from other news sources. We're going to focus on his ties to agriculture and the relationship Edwards had with the Louisiana Farm Bureau. In a 1997 interview with Twyla, Edwards said he first began working with Farm Bureau when he became a state senator in 1964, but that he knew agriculture since birth. Edwards said his father was a 3rd grade graduate sharecropper in Avoyles Parish, and that on the farm a young Edwards would make $1 a day picking cotton. In 1976, Edwards spoke before the Louisiana Farm Bureau convention in New Orleans, shortly before the state legislature took up a very important land use value legislation.
We believe that working with farmers is important. I believe that the future of this country, as we face the realistic possibility of another 100 million people in the next 30 years, the future of this country and the security of the world is going to depend more and more on the ability of the American farmer, because let's face it, no other nation in the world has the land, the technology, the machinery, and the farmers to increase the capacity of produced crops as well as America does.
Edwards was right, and he knew well the national issues facing agriculture from his time serving what was then Louisiana's 7th Congressional District, which stretched from Lake Charles to Crowley. Edwards served on the House Ag Committee and said his district was the premier rice-growing district in the country. Even after he exited politics, Edwards continued to hold Louisiana's farmers and Farm Bureau in high regard.
I was always comfortable because farmers are working people. They earn a living, and they produce food and fibers not only for America, but for many areas in the world that don't have adequate farm supplies. And forest farming is probably the single most heavy contributor to the economy of Louisiana, worth something like $12 billion a year, and is very important to our economy. And as a fellow who grew up on a farm, worked with farmers, represented them in legislation in the Congress, I felt very comfortable with him.
Edwards died of respiratory issues shortly after placing himself in hospice care. Governor Edwards would have been 94 years old next month.